How's it going, guys? Welcome back to That's Real Life. And today's segment is going to be called No Luck Chuck. And the reason why is because I have absolutely terrible luck in terms of the things that happen to me over and over. So let me just say that when I was in grad school and things went well for me, I had a beautiful BMW that worked amazingly until after I graduated, when everything started going wrong. The tires went flat, the electrical system was shot, the engine was shot, the windows wouldn't go down, everything, and I had to sell it for nothing but its weight in scrap metal. I then started driving a car that was so terrible that I named the Queefer, because every time the engine shut off, there'd be a 1 or 2 second pause of silence, and then it would release this wet farting sound, like. That thing was such a piece of shit that my mom was embarrassed for me and demanded that I take her old car because she just bought a new one. So I had to buy her car from her, which worked perfectly for 12 years and never had any major problems with it. Now I'm driving this car for about a week to 10 days, and I'm driving on the way to a meeting with a man who wants to invest in my business idea. And I'm on cloud 9 because things had been going wrong for me for 2 years, and pretty much all I needed was this small investment to create a prototype that I could then license to a manufacturer. And I was so excited to go to this meeting. And the coolest part was that he already knew all of the steps. It was just more of like a formal final meeting before he signs up. So I'm driving this car that I've had for about a week to 10 days, never been an issue with it, and on the way to the meeting, the engine explodes and it just dies right in the street. And I have to call this guy and tell him, listen, I'm really sorry, but I can't make it to the meeting because the car blew up. Can you come down here and meet me? And I actually had to ask him to help me push this car. The man that I needed to invest in me, I was so pathetic that I had to have him push my exploded car into a parking lot. And I have the meeting with him. Turns out that after the car goes into the shop, the battery was spraying sulfuric acid all over the engine. It had the accelerator go out on the car. The window wouldn't go up, just like in the BMW. The radio wouldn't work, just like in my BMW. And it was a complete disaster. The odometer, I don't know what they're called, the little gauges that speed and RPMs, they flicker when the car turns on. You name it. The car was shot, and I had it for a week. To make it even worse, the investor, after I had my meeting with him, I told him the process, and he said, okay, what I want you to do is just send over a final agreement. So basically, hey, this is the agreement we're going to make. He's going to give me this much money for this much equity in return. So I was like, okay, well, at the very least, I finally got my investment and I'm good to go. And as I sent him the final agreement to get the ball, like, not rolling, but gone. And he messaged me back saying that he changed his mind and he was going to pursue real estate opportunities. So in one swift blow, I had this car that I thought was going to work explode and go to hell, and the investor push my car and then decide afterwards, you know what, maybe a guy that's like this isn't the right person for me, and back out of the investment, and sending me back to square one, which I had been at for 2 years. So that's my version of No Luck Chuck, and that really was real life, exactly as it happened. Stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to have more of these videos as promised.